Hi there. Here we are, and it is the end of week 19. Week 19. My God, time has absolutely flown, and it continues to fly. So, what have we done this week? Well, truth be told, I'm worn out, and I can't quite tell you exactly what all I've done. Except that there has been a lot of action. So the deal is that mostly I've just been keeping up with what we already have going on. So over in the big garden area, I have continued to water all the plants and take care of them. I put up a new little trellis thing around the snap peas because they were all starting to clutch onto one another and form some strange ball. So I took care of that with a little trellis thing, and they are doing phenomenal over there. I mean, tomato plants are tomatoing. I can do fried green tomatoes. Very soon, I will have myself some fried green tomatoes. And the eggplant is busting, so I am thinking that very soon we should have some eggplant popping out of there. The Three Sisters is also doing great. The corn continues to shoot up, and the long beans are beginning to wrap around the corn. So everything is going as planned over there. And then the other thing I did was that I sorted through all of the plants that I have here on the deck and figured out what can go in the ground now and what needs to wait a little bit. So I got quite a few of the plants taken from here over into the garden area, and I'm just going to let them acclimate to the temperature and where I'm going to put them over there so that they're ready to be planted. But there were quite a few of them, like the loquat and the how come I always draw a blank when it gets down to me naming things? So anyhow, there was about 6 or 7 of them that I took over there. And they will be ready by next week for me to put them actually in the ground, I think, which is very exciting. And then the other thing I did was I marked others. So I do have things over here that I've either marked container because they need to go in a container since I'm in zone 9A here in Florida. And as if you've been around, you know from last year that we actually have quite a few days, or at least last year we did, that seemed to go below, not just below 32, but below 30 and into the 20s. So there are some things that it is easier for me to grow it in containers, and that way I can move them easily when winter comes, than it is to think that I'm going to wrap them and cover all of them. So I've got everything separated out, and that will be the next thing, is that I'll get those in the ground and get containers, bigger containers for all of these. What else did I do over here? I did get some more plants from Growing Back to Eden. I got some more starts, more basil, more peppers. That's mostly what I got. Basil, peppers, 2 different types of peppers actually. And just finished filling up these beds that are right over here by me in this kitchen garden that I am putting together over here. So that is continuing to grow also, and everybody is looking pretty good except for the lettuce type things. I just don't think they're going to make it. It was kind of there was a 50-50 chance that they might make it, and I don't think they're going to make it. what it's looking like right now in this part of Florida is it is beginning to get hot and hold the heat throughout the day and into the night. The nights are no longer they're no longer really dipping down. 65 is about as low as it's getting, but mostly it's up in the 70s even at night. And the other bottom line here with all of this is that they will it's going to be a little droughty for a minute, but now if I look right now, it looks like it's getting ready to pour. So, you know, we're doing that kind of in and out, dry, 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 and then pour, pour, pour is what this kind of starts looking like. So anything that's a little fragile, much better to hold on to it and not get it in the ground quite yet. A little later, like early fall, will be good for a lot of the plants. So that's the story with that. But what that means is I did empty some stuff off the deck, and which is really great because Gracie and I have more room to move and breathe and do that kind of thing. I also got my my Ego fan out of the shipping container storage and brought it up here to the deck so that we can tolerate being outside, which is my favorite place to be, but we can tolerate the heat up here. And you know, come on, was that a brilliant move of a company to call their stuff Ego? Now they probably call it something else, but it really is spelled E-G-O. Yeah, it's just fabulous. Having battery operated stuff by the name of Ego. Wow. All kinds of things come to mind with that. Anyhow, so I've got that up here for myself, which has been really great, and that helps everybody up here breathe on the deck. Speaking of which, yesterday I had a visitor here at Freedom Acres. My friend Jessica from down in South Florida, from the North Miami, very south, Hollandale Beach sort of area. She's right there in North Miami, but she came all the way up here. That's quite a drive, by the way. That's like five something hours of a drive. And she brought her two incredible dogs with her that I finally got to meet after oohing and ahhing over their pictures. They are Schnauzer dogs. And anyhow, she did get to spend several hours with me before she had to turn around and go back. Brought me all kinds of housewarming gifts, and oh my God, it was so fabulous to see her. So thanks, Jessica, for coming up here and paying me a visit. That was quite wonderful. Now, what else is happening? Well, the flower garden, the wildflower garden. I have ordered more wildflowers. They're still kind of greening up and beginning to raise above the ground. I also got some live plants today from Tractor Supply. They had some perennials that were on sale, and they were a great price. I just couldn't help myself. So I got some live flowers put in the ground over there, and I have a couple more that's probably going to go in the ground. But that, I'm just continuing to tend to that also. So what is new, you say? Not a lot. As you can see, I'm just tending to the things that we already have going and continuing to try to make sure that everything's taken care of as we move from spring into summer, which usually happens pretty quickly, kind of like that, as a matter of fact. So by next week there will probably be more happening. Like I said, I know that I have more wildflowers coming in. I also have some indoor plants. It's time. I kind of go back and forth between taking care of the outside, taking care of the inside. Tomorrow I have the electrician coming, because it seems, you know how there's been something every week? Like literally every week, I have had to redo or fix something that was new, but because it took 3 years to live here, you know, mostly they just timed out and died out, is kind of how that's looked. So my stovetop is tripping, it's tripping the breaker for some reason, which means no stovetop cooking. I am not some big cook anyhow, but you know, it would be nice to be able to boil water if I wanted to. Yeah. So I'm having to learn how to use the convection oven and make things happen with that. But tomorrow we'll get that fixed. And then who knows? Maybe things will be fixed for a while. The next things on the wish list are the rocks, getting the rocks handled and managed, hitting the button on the DR equipment brush mower that I have had sitting in my wish list for quite a while, so that I can start making pathways through that 7 acres of land that I really frankly have not seen much of since I first bought the property. So I'd like to start getting that rassled in a little bit and being able to see it and get a feel for things so that I can determine where the next things are gonna happen here on the property. And then the other thing that should be happening real soon is I am going to, in this county, anything under 120 square feet, I do not have to have a permit for. So I still have some stuff in storage, and it's a 10 by 5 unit. Now, frankly, most of that is probably going to be given away or trashed in some way, shape, or form. It has been sitting in storage now since I left South Florida 5 years ago. I think 5 years ago, maybe longer than that at this point in time. But I do want to get it out of storage. So I need a concrete slab, and then I am going to go the easy route and get a storage shed from one of the big box stores and have them install it on my slab. So then I can go get a truck, pick up my stuff from storage, bring it here, put it in this storage, and begin to weed things out from here, and save myself that enormous rental fee that's been going on for years now. The storage unit that I thought I was only going to have for 6 months. Yep, that's how that goes. So I should, all of those things are on my wish list as next things to do. You know, the game was for this year to not do a whole lot of heavy duty stuff. You know, some things like that, like this, getting rid of the storage unit, that would be good to do. Getting some of this gravel cleared up so that I can continue to grow things and do things here and in the garden. So it's only the things that are getting in my way, basically, is what I'm working on. I really wanted this full year of 2026 to be me just being able to be here on the property, spending time with the land, getting to know the land better, and figuring out where I wanted to put things next and what I wanted to do next. You know, there is still a plan to have a community of women artists here, and that plan has not disappeared. It just has been pushed a little further out. So who knows? Maybe by the end of the year I'll be talking more about that. But for now, I'm just kind of moving a little slow, doing only what's necessary, and enjoying being here on the land, which is really the whole point. I do love when when I have visitors here and they get to see it. You know, like when my friend Jessica came yesterday, she's, you know, one of my biggest fans out here on on YouTube. She's always watching the videos, and you know, it was really fun for her to be able to actually see it in real life, because on YouTube you don't really get the full experience like you do, of course, when you're here walking the land and, you know, actually getting to see where everything is in relationship to one another. So soon. And this is where Grace and I, we love up on you. So Grace and I, we send you freedom for yourself and your life. And we send you tons and tons and tons of love for yourself and your life. And of course, we send you peacefulness. So we will be back next week, right? We're going to be back next week? Yep, that's right. We'll be back next week. And no telling what we'll have gotten done between now and then. I've had a little lull this week. Things may pick up next week. Just kind of depends on who shows up, what happens, and what urges I get along the way. So, freedom, love, peacefulness. We send that to you. Please take it. Take it in where you really need it, here, in. Keep creating it yourself. And we will see you soon.